कोई नहीं आएगा।
किस तरह आप कहते हैं कोई नहीं आएगा?
शाहीन साहब
किस तरह?
Pakistan was about to witness one of the darkest criminal cases in its history. A case so horrifying that even today, more than 2 decades later, it continues to haunt the nation. One man would claim responsibility for the deaths of 100 children, a confession so shocking that police initially dismissed it as a sick joke. But what investigators would soon discover inside a house on Ravi Road in Lahore would reveal a nightmare beyond imagination. This is the story of Javeed Iqbal, the man who became known as the Monster of Lahore. The story began in November 1999. Lahore police received a disturbing letter. At first glance, it appeared to be an ordinary piece of mail, but the contents were horrifying. The writer claimed responsibility for multiple murders. The letter included names, addresses, and details about victims. It even described how their bodies had been disposed of. When my count reaches 100, my mission will be complete. The letter also contained an address, 16B Ravi Road, Lahore. Police immediately dispatched officers to investigate. When they arrived, a 38-year-old man named Javeed Iqbal answered the door. The officers questioned him about the letter. Suddenly, Javed placed a gun to his head and threatened to kill himself if they did not leave. Faced with an unpredictable situation, the officers backed away. Believing it might be a hoax, they left without conducting a complete search of the property. It would prove to be one of the most criticized decisions in the entire case, because behind those walls lay evidence of unimaginable crimes. A few weeks later, another shocking development occurred. A package arrived at the offices of Daily Jang newspaper. It was delivered to crime reporter Jamil Chishti. Inside were photographs of children, along with a handwritten confession. The sender claimed to have murdered 100 children. He instructed the journalist to visit the house on Ravi Road. Chishti immediately traveled to the location. The house was locked. Unable to enter through the front door, he climbed over a wall and stepped inside. What he discovered shocked even seasoned crime reporters. Scattered throughout the property were dozens of children's belongings: clothes, shoes, photographs, personal items. One room contained approximately 85 pairs of children's shoes. Another contained bags filled with children's clothing. Then came the most horrifying discovery: large drums filled with acid. The smell was overwhelming. Inside the containers were human remains. Evidence suggested that bodies had been dissolved in acid in an attempt to destroy all traces of the crimes. The walls contained handwritten notes and victim records. Some cards listed names and details of children. Others described what had happened to them. Pakistan had never seen anything like it. When news of the discovery became public, parents of missing children rushed to the house. Many hoped for answers. Others feared the worst. The nation was in shock. As the investigation expanded, Javeed Iqbal vanished. Police launched one of the largest manhunts in Pakistan's history. His photograph appeared on television screens and newspaper front pages across the country. Authorities feared he might escape. The entire nation wanted answers. Then, on December 29, 1999, something completely unexpected happened. Javeed Iqbal walked into the offices of Daily Jang newspaper, calmly, without resistance, without fear. According to witnesses, he introduced himself with chilling words: "I am Javeed Iqbal, the killer of 100 children." The room fell silent. One of Pakistan's most wanted men had surrendered himself. Over the next several hours, Javed spoke to journalists in remarkable detail. According to those present, he described his involvement in a series of incidents affecting vulnerable children across Lahore. One statement shocked reporters more than anything else. Javed claimed that several children had managed to escape and return home, yet nobody had come looking for him. Within minutes, authorities were informed. Police surrounded the building and took him into custody. During questioning, Javed accepted responsibility for the incidents. However, he insisted that his actions were driven by revenge. Revenge against society. Revenge against a system he believed had treated him unfairly.
आपने 200 बच्चे क्यों नहीं कत्ल किए 100 क्यों इंतकाम कर रहे थे ना इंतकाम कर रहे थे
मेरे पास आज भी इतने पैसे थे कि मैं ये सिलसिला जारी रख सकता था
कितने पैसे
अगर कल को आप जो जितने मारे हैं उनमें से 3-4 बच्चे घरों को वापस आ गए फिर आपका सारा ये
कोई नहीं आएगा
किस तरह आप कहते हैं कोई नहीं आएगा किस तरह
अच्छा आपके ख्याल में
Investigators now turned their attention to understanding who Javeed Iqbal really was. Javeed Iqbal was born into a relatively wealthy family. According to relatives, he was intelligent and highly manipulative from a young age. However, he often compared himself to his siblings, and over time, feelings of resentment began to grow. Family members later described him as controlling and unpredictable. As he entered adulthood, concerns about his behavior became increasingly common. After finishing his education, his father helped him establish a business. Javed frequently employed young boys, and later opened businesses that attracted large numbers of children and teenagers, including video game centers. According to reports, he used these locations to build trust with vulnerable youngsters. Eventually, parents became suspicious. Many began warning their children to stay away from him, yet he continued searching for new opportunities. By the late 1990s, Javed was facing financial difficulties. At the same time, a significant incident occurred. According to reports, a confrontation involving an 18-year-old young man resulted in Javed being injured and later taken into police custody. Serious allegations followed. Psychologists who later examined the case suggested that this period may have intensified feelings of anger and resentment already present within him. Javed later claimed that society had wronged him. Rather than addressing those grievances constructively, he began making choices that would eventually have devastating consequences. The case that shocked Pakistan. In 1999, Javed rented a house at 16B Ravi Road. According to his confession, he wanted others to experience the same pain he believed had affected his family. His targets were often vulnerable children, runaways, homeless youngsters, street children. Many could be found around Data Darbar, where countless people arrived every day seeking food, shelter, or assistance. Javed approached them with promises of money, food, work, and a safe place to stay. For children with nowhere else to go, the offer seemed impossible to refuse. According to investigators, he kept photographs and records connected to many of the children. Authorities later alleged that numerous children came to serious harm and that evidence was deliberately removed or destroyed. The scale of the case shocked investigators. According to his confession, 100 children disappeared within just 147 days. One child after another vanished from the streets of Lahore. Many families reported their children missing, but because most came from poor backgrounds, many cases received little attention. A dangerous criminal was operating in the city, and almost nobody realized it. When the truth emerged, Lahore was devastated. Parents searched through photographs recovered from the house, hoping to recognize a missing child. Schools reported declining attendance, and many children were no longer allowed to go outside alone. The city was gripped by fear. Of the alleged 100 victims, only a portion could be identified. For many families, closure would never come. As the trial began, public anger reached extraordinary levels. Crowds gathered outside courtrooms demanding justice. Yet Javeed's story kept changing. First, he confessed. Then he denied everything. Later, he offered different explanations and even claimed the case had been fabricated. The court rejected these claims. Investigators pointed to written confessions, photographs, records, and witness testimony. Together, they formed a powerful case. Eventually, the verdict arrived. Guilty. The sentence immediately attracted worldwide attention. The judge ordered an unusually severe punishment. Human rights organizations criticized the ruling, while many people in Pakistan felt that no punishment could ever match the suffering endured by affected families. The case became a symbol of justice for an entire nation. Before the sentence could be carried out, another unexpected twist occurred. On October 9, 2001, Javeed Iqbal and his accomplice Sajid were found dead inside their prison cells. Authorities ruled the deaths as suicides, yet questions quickly emerged. Some accepted the official explanation. Others believed there was more to the story. To this day, debate continues over what really happened inside that prison. More than 20 years have passed since the Javeed Iqbal case shocked Pakistan, yet the scars remain. The case exposed weaknesses in the protection of vulnerable children and highlighted the dangers faced by homeless and runaway youth. Some cases fade with time, but the story of Javeed Iqbal remains one of the darkest chapters in Pakistan's history, a tragedy that still echoes through the memories of those who lived through it.